If your edits look good but don't get that reaction you expect, there's a really good chance the problem isn't the visuals. It's that the edit doesn't feel like anything. You can spend hours on transitions, effects, and visuals, but if the sound design is weak, the reaction will always be this. This is the part that most editors either skip or rush. And it's exactly why their edits don't hit the way they should. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to sound design your edits properly, step by step. Sound design plays a massive role in how your videos feel and how well it performs. So for this video, this is the clip that we'll be working on today.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
I've also linked the video in the description below if you guys want to download it and follow along. All of the concepts that we'll be talking about today about sound design can be used in any video editing software, but I personally like to use Premiere Pro. Alright, let's get into it. So, there are three main parts of sound design that we're going to be covering in this video. Also, for those who edit YouTube videos and YouTube shorts, there's a big bonus tip at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. So the first part of sound design is the dialogue, and this is usually your primary audio. Dialogue is what drives the entire video, and everything else in sound design exists to support it. So if your dialogue sucks, the entire video suffers, and we definitely don't want that. So let's first fix the dialogue part of this video. So over here again, I have this video that I edited for a competition a few months ago. Let's just quickly watch it without any effects or any sound effects or sound design.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
So again, doesn't sound too good. We can definitely have some improvements and make it sound better. Actually, I'm just gonna remove this. So the first thing you want to do to improve your dialogue is you want to make sure you have the audio track mixer open, and if you don't have this open right now, what you can do is you can go up here to Windows, then you can go down here to audio track mixer and just make sure that's selected. And then because I have multiple compositions open, just make sure it's selected for whatever composition you want. So in this case, I have this called Final Video Render Practice, so I'll make sure that's pressed, and then it should appear over here. And so the entire thing looks like this, but we don't really need the bottom half. Also, when you open it, it might actually first look like this. So just make sure you press this arrow button on the top to open it up, and it should now look like this. So first thing we want to do is we want to check where our dialogue is placed in our video. So this dialogue is placed on audio track 1 because it says here A1. So you want to go up here and make sure you're on audio track 1. So A1 is over here, so that's good. Then we'll go up to the first slot, we'll press on this, and then we're gonna go to amplitude and compression. Or actually no, we're gonna go to filter and EQ, and then we're gonna add the parametric equalizer effect. So we'll press on that, and then we're gonna double press again, go to presets, and then go all the way down to vocal enhancer, and then that's basically all you need to do. And what it does is it basically plays around with the frequencies and just makes your audio and your speech sound way better. And so that's all you need to do in here, and then you're just gonna press X. And then now let's hear a small portion of the video.
2025 is
actually it's a bit compressed.
2025 has become the year where video editors can.
So let's hear it without this, and you can do this by pressing the FX over here.
2025 has become the year where video editors.
So you can definitely tell there's a big difference, and that's only one of the effects that we're going to add. So the second effect we're going to be adding is the single band compressor, and then that's under amplitude and compression, and then single band compressor. Then just double tap on that, and then over here in presets, again, you can just go all the way down to voice thickener, and then that's all you need. Now over here, what you can do is, what I like to do is actually go to threshold and maybe take it down a bit to -24, or increase it, I guess, to -24 decibels, and then let's just try and see what it sounds like now.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most
Yeah, like this sounds way better. It adds a lot of like thickness to your voice. Like your voice is a bit deeper and it's just not flat. So that's pretty cool. And now for the final effect that we're gonna add is we're just gonna add some denoise. So we're gonna go over here, open it up, go down to let's see, is it under specials? No reverb, no noise reduction, right over here, and then denoise. And then just open that up. And then what I like to do is I like to keep it at 5%. Now again, depending on how much background noise you have in your video or how much like noise you want to remove from your video, you can either increase this, more. But to be honest, if you increase it too much, it will make the video sound bad. So for example, for now, let's just try out 5% of denoise.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the
So this sounds good. Now look what happens when I make it like, let's say 50%.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make
Yeah, like it doesn't sound too good. It kind of sounds like the audio is compressed, which we don't want. So keeping it, I think, between like 0 to 10% is good. Sometimes you don't even need denoise, so if you don't need it, you don't need to put it. But in this case, I like to just be on the safe side and just keep it as 5%. So guys, that's it for the first part of sound design, which is dialogue. Now your audio should sound way better.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
Now let's go on to the second part of sound design, which is the sound effects. The second part of sound design is sound effects, and sound effects also have its own 3 layers. The first layer of sound effects is actions, and this includes quick camera moves, button presses, and pop-up texts. That's just some examples. The second layer are hits and risers, and these build up emotions and tighten viewers up. Okay, pause. Or give viewers relief. The third and final layer of sound effects is the ambience, and this includes ocean waves, cafe background noises, or like PC noises, whatever it is that kinda adds ambience to your video. Another famous one is like birds, for example. And now there are 2 different ways you can add sound effects to your video. So the first way is you can go through the entire video and add each layer one by one. So for example, in this case, if I wanted to go through that method, what I'll do is I'll first add all the action sound effects. I'll go through the entire video, look at where there's any actions on the screen or in the video, add the sound effects, and then once I'm done, I'll go back to the start of the video, then add the second layer, which is the hits and risers. And then I'll go ahead and add all the hits and risers wherever I feel like it makes sense. And then once I reach to the end of the video, I'll go back for the third and final time to add the ambience sound effects to the video, and then that's it. And then that'll be me going through the video 3 different times and adding the 3 different layers of the sound effects. Now the second way to do this, and the way that I do it right now, is I just I just cut the video into different sections. So for example, I'll go through this part of the video and then just start adding all the 3 layers together at once, and then that way I don't really have to go back through the video multiple times, and yeah, it just makes it faster. But to be honest with you, if you guys are starting out, and what I did when I first started working with sound design and just like getting better at it, I used to go through the video multiple times and adding each layer on its own. And that's just because when you first start out, going through the video multiple times helps out a lot, because you might have just missed some stuff. And so just going through the video multiple times just gives you that reassurance and makes sure like you're not really missing any like motion or movement in the video, and you didn't miss any important sound effects. So let's start by adding the sound effects to the video. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through each different layer and add it to the video. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the action layer, which is basically any quick movements that happen on the screen. And so what I've done here is I've added markers to any time there's like very fast movement and where I can add a sound effect to it. And so let's go to the start, for example. This is the first point where I want to add is action sound effect, and you can see here I'm zooming out of the video, and so this would be a perfect time to add a whoosh sound effect.
2025 has become the year.
Now here's another part where I added another sound effect, and so you can see over here I'm kind of like zooming in quickly, and so again this would be a second whoosh.
It's become the year where video edit.
And then here, this is again, I'm moving from one part of the screen to another. This is another type of movement. And again, you can add another whoosh over here.
Can make the most amount of
Here, you can also add another whoosh if you want. But for now, I'm just gonna, because I feel like I already added multiple whooshes, I'm just gonna keep it how it is.
Of money online.
Here, I'll add another whoosh or another sound effect. So I put a marker over here.
And it's never been easier. If you were to search up
Again, movement over here. So add a marker here.
how to make money online as
Same thing over here. There's a big cut, and then I'm moving up to the ChatGPT section. So I'll add a marker here.
online as a video editor in
Also, by the way, if you want to add markers, you can just press on your clip and then just press M on your keyboard, and then this adds a marker.
2025. There's a
So here again, we have movement here, but for this, instead of adding a whoosh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like a UI sound effect, because it's kind of like popping up.
2025. There's a lot of information.
And then here, I'll add another, there's more movement here, so I'm going to add another sound effect.
A lot of information.
And the same thing here, there's a very subtle zoom in. So that's where I'm going to add my final marker. So now that we have all the markers added, let's just start adding the sound effects. Also, a quick hack for you guys. I use the Premiere Composer plugin to add my sound effects. It's super cool because you can go in here and add your own folder and add all your sound effects that you have saved up in your desktop. And it just makes your life easier because I can just come over here, press on the sound effects, hear it in the software, and then I can just drag it into my video just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these and start adding my sound effects. And so the first one I found was this nice whoosh. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add my whoosh over here. And so it sounds something like this.
2025 is
and if I listen to it without anything, just kind of like a heavy whoosh. And so I'm just going to add it to the start of the video where my first marker is. And then I'm going to try to line up. So I added the markers where I feel like is the most intense movement is happening. So that's where I want to line up kind of the peak of my sound effect. So over here, if you see the sound waves, wherever you see the highest sound waves, you want to match that with where the marker is, because the marker is where I think the highest, the fastest movement is happening. So that's very important as well. So that's the first one.
2025 has become.
And then here's another one that I found. So let's just match this up with the movement over here. So over here, you have the zoom in like happens over here. And so I'll just bring the peak somewhere over here. So now let's listen to it.
2025 has become the year where video.
Maybe move it a bit to the right.
Year where video edit.
Okay, that sounds good. Now over here, let's see what we can find. I found this third whoosh sound effect. Let's listen to it alone. Yeah, that sounds good. So over here, I'm gonna actually add this to where the movement happens over here, where the it's going from this phase to the text. So I think somewhere around here. So let's listen to this now.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most.
So now for your sound effects as well, you want to kind of keep them at like -5 decibels. That's where I like it. But again, it really depends on the video and the sound effect. But a good rule of thumb is just keeping it at -5 decibels.
2020.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the whoosh sound effects to all of these markers. So here you go, guys. I added the rest of the whooshes to the rest of the video and matched it up with the markers I have. So let's just listen to the video with only the whooshes. Okay. So now I feel like we can probably add a nice sound effect over here where the money moves somewhere around here. So I'm going to add another marker here and then maybe go a bit in front to this where we're moving from here to here, somewhere around here. I'll just look for more better sound effects. Okay, so I found a good one here. What I'm going to do again is go here, press on G to adjust the gain, press -5 decibels to bring it down -5, and of course I make sure I usually use the adjust gain by setting instead of set gain to. And then as well, what I like to do is change the colors so I know which layer of sound design this is. And so if I do it again, this sounds good. And so let's see over here. Let's see if maybe one of these work as well. Okay, this one I think might work.
It's never been easy. And it's never been easy.
Nope. Too slow.
It's never been easy. And it's never been easy. It's never been easier.
Okay, so I think I found the perfect one. I'm just gonna bring this up over here. And so let's listen to the entire video one more time.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
So you can see how much of a difference just adding the wishes is. Now let's just add the second part of the first layer, which is the actions. Let's see where we have more actions as well. So over here, we have another big action where it's kind of like zooming in, and then like his face turns into like these cards, maybe, and it starts like flickering. So maybe here, when I see like flickering, what I like to do is usually add kind of like a glitch sound effect or a flicker sound effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go here and clear all the markers and then start adding new markers again for the second part. So we said over here, here, and then let's go in front. Again, guys, you can add your own sound effects the way you want to, but I'm just doing it the way I did it for the video and how my mind basically thinks. So over here, I'm gonna keep it the same. Like over here, for example, you can add sound effects to when like the text comes in individually. So over here, this is where I'm gonna add my other sound effect for the actions layer. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add kind of like a ratchet sound effect. So because here all the text is coming in individually. So I'm just gonna add a ratchet sound effect to each layer when it comes in. And then over here, like we said, we didn't add any wish sound effects. So over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a UI sound effect.
25, there's a lot of information.
And same thing over here. I'm gonna add another UI sound effects when all of these red pings pop up. So let's just continue adding the sound effects. So over here, we said we want to add the flicker sound effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find a flicker sound effect and add it here. So I found a good one. It's actually like a glitch sound effect. Let's just quickly listen to it. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Then next, we said over here, I'm going to add the ratchet sound effects. So what a ratchet kind of sounds like is if I go over here, kind of something like this. So I'm just going to add it over here and just make sure you can see over here the wavelengths. I'm just going to make sure these line up when the text comes in. So the first text comes over here, so I'm going to move this over here. And then the second one comes in, third one, fourth, money online matches as a video editor in, let me extend this. So after all of these, we don't need because no text comes in. And then let's see where the last text comes in. Oh, 2025. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this, bring this over here. So when it's 2025 pops in, you have the sound effects popping in as well. So let's listen to this now. Wrong place. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up a bit. Maybe move it a bit to the right as well. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Also, what I did is, again, is I changed the color. You don't need to do this, but I like doing it just to differentiate between the different sound effects. Here, we said we're going to add a UI sound effect. So let's just find a UI sound effect over here. So I found one. I'm just going to place it over here. And then let's listen to it. Maybe have it start somewhere around here. Okay, that looks good. And then finally, for this part, we're gonna have a lot of different sound effects because they're all popping up. So for this, what we can use is kind of like a data scatter sound effect. So I found one and this is what it sounds like. So let me just add it over here and line it up when it just starts popping up everywhere. And then also, like, if you can see over here at the end, it's kind of like a harsh cut and I don't want that to happen. It doesn't sound too good. So what we can do is when you hover your mouse over the audio sound effect, you'll see this thing over here. What you can do is you can just pull it and that kind of like adds a fade in sound effect, or add a fade in effect. And again, if you're not using Premiere Pro, all of the different software have this. You just gotta find it. Sometimes it's under the effects tab, but yeah, it's just like a fade in for the sound effects, so it doesn't sound like a harsh cut. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Okay, now let's listen to everything after we added all the first layer of sound effects, which is the actions layer.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
So you can see how much better this video sounds with just adding the first layer of sound effects. Now let's add the second layer of sound effects, which is the risers and hits. And so what I usually like to start with in the second layer is the hits, because an hits is like an impact sound effect and it's usually really easy to see where you want to add it. And so if you watch the video, I already added the markers where I want to add them. But if you watch the video, actually, let me just mute everything. Or actually, no, let's just watch the video and then I'll show you, for example, why I added the markers where they are at.
2025 has become the year where video editors...
So you can see over here, when we zoom in, it's kind of like a punch. And so this is where I want to add my first hit.
Video editors can make the most...
Second hit over here, when the text flips into and becomes the money.
Most amount of money online, and it's never been easy.
So over here where I have two different markers, I'm actually going to add a riser and a hit back to back. And so before we even get into that, I'll first let you guys listen to what the riser sounds like. So you can see it's kind of like a sound effect that goes up, 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 and then kind of like you want an explosion to happen at the end. So the riser is where it goes up, 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 and then the explosion is kind of like where you have the hit sound effect. And so the reason why I want to add the hit and riser to this part of the video is because this section of the video is gonna end, and so it just fits to add a riser and hit at this point. And so again, it really depends on you guys, like how you guys feel the video is going. And so if you find a section where you want to add a riser and a hit and it makes sense, then you add it. And if it doesn't make sense, you just remove it. But the whole idea is you add a riser when someone's about to give a lot of value, and then a hit when the person gives out that value. So this is the first hit I'm going to add. I'm just going to line it up, and it sounds something like this. So you can see it's kind of like an impact. And so now if I play it with this part of the video,
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most.
So you see how much emotion it actually gives to the video. It's pretty sick. So I'm gonna add a second hit over here. It's when for my second marker, and so this is what it sounds like now.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount.
So you can definitely tell it adds another like layer. That's pretty sick. So over here, this is where I said I want to add my riser. So it's going to start from over here and then it's going to end over here. And you can see in this part of the video, there's kind of like a flash, like a white flash. And so for this, what I thought of is adding kind of like a camera flash sound effect. And I found a bunch of really cool like camera flash risers. And so one of them sounds like this, and it fits really good with this part of the video. It's kind of like the camera flash starting up, and it just adds a really cool sound effect to the video. And so what I did as well is add kind of like a fade in at the start, so it's not too intense. So something like this. And then over here, of course, at the end of the riser, we're gonna add the hit, which should be a camera flash like kind of sound effect. So let's look for that. So I just found one. I'm just gonna line up the start over here of the waves to the end of the second one. So over here. So now, for example, let's listen to it now. So you can definitely tell. So if I start doing this and I start playing these two back to back, the riser and the hit. So yeah, that sounds really good. And yeah, that's it for the risers and the hit section. Let's now listen to everything at once. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a small fade as well to this part, just because it sounds better that way. So now let's listen to the video with our first 2 layers added.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
So yeah, you guys can tell the sound effects added another different dimension to the video, and so that's pretty sick. Now, again, for the final part of the sound effects, which is the ambience, and that's the 3rd layer. We don't really have much ambience in this video because, first of all, this is kind of like a short formy video. It's a short form video in horizontal dimensions, but there's not really much happening. It's mostly focused on motion graphics and animations. So I didn't really think there's any need for me to add any environment or ambience sound effects to the video. And so in this case, you can just eliminate the 3rd layer. You don't really need it. But yeah, if you guys are filming cinematic videos or long form videos, most of the time you want to add kind of like the ambience sound effect. And so that's why the ambience layer is going to be really important. But again, in this case, we don't need it. So we're just going to stick to the first 2 layers of sound effects, which is the actions and the risers and hits. Finally, the last part of sound design is the music. Adding music to my video is actually my favorite part of video editing, since it's the part where the whole video comes together. And the background music in your video is so important because it is actually what decides the mood and the tone over your entire video. So depending on what kind of video you're editing, you might need to add multiple types of music tracks in your video that convey different types of emotion, like upbeat music, sad music, mysterious music, and so on. Other times, and this is mostly for people who edit short form videos, you will probably only have one music track in your video. And so for this video, I actually went with a music track that I actually like and listen to a lot, which is a song by Travis Scott. The song is called The Wizard and it's on Spotify if you guys want to check it out. And I'm pretty sure if I add it to this video, it's gonna get copyrighted. But anyways, let's go ahead and add it here. So over here, I added the music to my video. And so you guys might be wondering, why do I have 2 different music tracks for my song? And so this is actually one song, but what I did is I separated the audio or the background music from the vocals. So you have over here, this is the part where Travis Scott is only singing or rapping, and then this is just the background music. And so the reason why I did that is because at some point I want Travis Scott's vocals to be like loud, and so that gives up more emotion. And then other times I don't really want it to be loud. I want the background music to be louder. So that's what I did over here. If I zoom in and open it up, you can see I added keyframes in my background music. So over here, if I listen to just this is just the vocals. So here's just humming. Yeah, it actually sounds kind of funny when you're just listening to the vocals because most of it is just ad-libs or him just making weird sounds with his mouth. But yeah, that's only the vocals. And you can see over here when the big, like the beat drop happens, I kind of lowered the vocals and then just had the background music. And so if I listen to the background music alone, let's listen to it now. So yeah, you can definitely tell. And what I did as well is I increased the background music more than the vocals. So that's another reason why I separated the 2 tracks. So now that I added it over here and then lined it up. So what I want to do, of course, is I want to line up the beat drop with the pivotal part of the video. And so in the video, when you remember when we added the riser and the hit back to back, that's probably the most like pivotal part or the most like intense part of the video. And so that's where I want to add the beat drop. And so what I do is I go to my song or my music tracks. I'll go highlight where the drop happens. So you can definitely tell if I zoom in, you can see there's a peak over here with the wavelengths compared to here. And so that's where the drop, music drop happens. And so I'll highlight the music tracks and then press M to add a keyframe or add a marker where the drop happens. And then I'll line up that marker with the marker at the top where I added the riser and hit. And so now it's just, if I play the whole video together, it just sounds really good.
2025 has become the year where video editors can make the most amount of money online, and it's never been easier. If you were to search up how to make money online as a video editor in 2025, there's a lot of information.
And so now, for those who edit videos for YouTube or YouTube Shorts, this is an important audio settings that you guys want to have in your video. And so what you want to do is you want to go, so this is where we added our effects to our dialogue, which is on audio track 1. What you want to do is actually you want to go all the way to the end, to the last track, and this is the mix track or the mixer track. And so whatever effects you add over here gets added or applied to every audio track in your video. And so there's two really important effects that you want to add for YouTube. So what you want to do is you want to go over here, open this up, go to amplitude and compression, and then go to hard limiter. And then you double press on that. And then in presets, just go and press on true peak, and then that's all you have to do. So that's the first setting you want to add. The second setting is, or the second effect is the loudness meter. And so you want to go down to filter or Kino. No, it's not here. Oh yeah, it's under special. Then loudness meter over here. Double press that. Presets, just make sure you press on YouTube. It's already there, and then that's all you need. These two effects will make sure that your video don't get compressed, or your audio doesn't get compressed or like changed when you upload it to YouTube, because what tends to happen is when you upload a YouTube video, your audio might be a bit too loud, and so YouTube does its own like editing to your video and starts lowering the audio, and so we want to make sure that doesn't happen, and so that's why we add these two effects. And so now when you render or export your video, it will all be pretty good. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what other tutorials you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.